Scandal. When you think about it, what is a scandal? Let's find out. Alright, welcome back on Laughing Museums. My name is Cedric, thank you for watching, and today we're talking about what is shocking, what is inappropriate, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna put my sunnies. It's such a beautiful day, even though it is the mid of December and I'm wearing just this. How wonderful is that region, right? I found that little spot which I think is pretty great for recording. Talking about scandal, I'm gonna go backward. I'm gonna start with one of the latest that has been shocking in Paris, and that will be Christmas Tree by this guy Paul McCartney. So he made that thing that looked a little bit too much. That's something you might remember, and people destroy the piece that the city of Paris was apologizing to the artists. They asked if they could fix it, and somebody actually took a swing at Paul McCartney, and the artist said, you know what, they don't want it, I'm cool, let's not have it, right? A friend of mine told me that when he was having a gallery back in Los Angeles, he said he knew Paul McCartney, and he says guys like the coolest is a man of a certain age. He's not doing things just to shock, just to offend people. It's just a way to express society. So that was quite interesting. Let's take another one. I'm going to go a little bit backward on this one, and with Ingres in the Louvre. So this is really the Odalisque, one of my favorite painting in the Louvre. Why? Because it doesn't look like much, but you have to imagine when he showed it around 1815 for the first time, people were so pissed they even threatened to destroy the painting. That's how much offended they were, right? And why is that? Why is that? Because basically when you propose something back in the day, the only way to become an artist around the early 19th century was either biblical, mythological, or oriental subject. This one is clearly oriental, except they were kind of bored of the three unwritten rules, and that's why he dismantled that poor girl by many things. Her back is way too long to be human, the movement of the head is kind of weird, the legs are crossing in the wrong way, the left leg is not attached to the hip, and I'm no specialist, but I'm pretty sure that boob is kind of a defying gravity flying in the air up there, right? And my point of view is like there's only 4 toes, but I talked with a copyist of the Louvre, and she told me there's actually 5 toes. So big debate on this one, right? And I think he did that because, of course, Ingres was a fantastic painter. He was so famous already that the jury kind of a pressure. They have to let him be part of that contest of 1815. So he knew he was creating a scandal, kind of shaking the entire Academy of Fine Arts, which will literally go down around 1874 with, of course, the first Impressionist show by the studio of Nadar. But that's too quick. Let's just do one more thing. We're still going back in time with a Renaissance painting that I love, which will be Caravaggio, right? If there is definitely one life that is mostly scandal, that would be the life of Caravaggio. And those little scents, which are a good excuse. Either he could be a Cupid or he could be a young saint. This is always kind of a scandal. This one I'm showing you right there is in Berlin. I remember looking at it, I was pretty young, and I remember the guy told me there's a head missing, we don't really know what it's doing, while legs are spreading, and clearly there is a smell of scandal in there. The head of the young boy is kind of red. We know Caravaggio was really into having affairs with young ragazzi, let's call it this way. I hope I'm not insulting everyone, that's not the point. I'm thinking about Pasolini scandal, stuff like that. That's why I call it Ragazzi, which is the name of a book. And yeah, there is definitely a lot of scandal in there. And my point is always like, is it the goal of Caravaggio to really shock, or are we the one offended for kind of no reason, or should we be offended no matter what? It's one of the big mystery of art history, and I think no matter what time it is, we always kind of offended, either we want it or not, right? There's always kind of an offense, and there's no way around this one, right? It's always going to be something shocking, right? So the question is, should we let everything being offensive? Of course not, right? Or should we let nothing be offensive? What do? We arrest artists, we arrest galleries, we arrest agents, or we let everything happen? So that's kind of the question of civilization. That's always the same thing, right? And that's judging, and that's justice, and what is justice is moral, and what is moral, that is a definition of civilization. So that's always kind of the same circle going again and again. If we have too much moral, then everything becomes super boring. Ergo, the Second Empire is a super classic example of that. And if we let nothing happen, and if we let, everything happen, then you arrive in something too excessive, and then nothing is shocking anymore, and then innovating is very difficult, right? Remember Jackson Pollock and abstract expressionism, which they were questioning after Picasso. How do you make something new? How is that even possible to do something new? Thank you so much for watching. My name is Cedric, and you've been watching Laughing Museum. If you enjoyed this video, please do your thing. Subscribe if you really enjoyed it, and no matter what you do, if you're not doing it with a smile, well, you might doing it wrong.